press the bell icon on the YouTube app and never miss another update.
We'll start with the discussion of biomolecules as we have been doing. So this is the second phase of discussion of mega paper. Okay, so we have question number 97. Proteins fulfill several functions in living systems. An example of a protein which acts as a hormone is, you can see these options there. Casein is a protein, oxytocin which helps in the blood circulation and which helps in the childbirth. This is acting as a hormone, chemical messenger. Trypsin, again a protein, and keratin, again a protein. So the one which acts as a hormone in the body. So an example of a protein which acts as hormone is which one? Oxytocin. Option 2, correct option. Question number 99. Formation of yellow stands on fingers while working with concentrated HNO3 in laboratory is due to the reaction of concentrated HNO3 with, it's a very simple thing. It is the reaction of nitration on the aromatic rings of different amino acids, and amino acids are present in what? Proteins. So the yellowing of the strands when you are working in laboratory on HNO3 we call it xanthotropic acid. So xanthotropic test it's called as. Got it? So the color will be yellow strand formation. So it's with respect to the proteins. Like side chains of the amino acids are tyrosine and tryptophan. So there only this nitrated products will come into play which will lead to the yellow color formation on the nails. Correct? Next question. Question number 107. The standard compound for determination of configuration in sugar chemistry is very simple. So when you talk about configuration, children, when you talk about configuration, it is with respect to a particular chiral center. And we know for deciding D and L isomers in sugar chemistry, in carbohydrate chemistry, the basic component used, the reference component used is glyceraldehyde. That is CHO, COH, H and CH2OH. So this is the only chiral carbon present in glyceraldehyde. And on the basis of this, we see whether OH is on the right or left. So if it is on the right side, we call that as D configuration, and if it is on the left side, we call that as L configuration. So the standard compound for determination of configuration in sugar chemistry is which one? Glyceraldehyde. Question number 108. Consider the following sequence of aspartic acid. Good, have a look. The aspartic acid is acidic amino acid and with the side chain CH2COOH. Good. The pi isoelectric point of aspartic acid is, let us see the diagrammatic analysis of this question more clearly, children. Needs to understand this question well. We know when we calculate isoelectric point, what is the isoelectric point? It is the pH at which there is no net mobility of the amino acid because the net charge is 0. So which is equal to half of pKa1 plus pKa2. Now according to this question, we will have 3 pKa values because when you look on the molecule, we have C, then you have got COOH which is represented in terms of CO2H, then you have got which molecule? H, then you have NH3 plus then you got CH2COOH here. So if you look on this molecule, children, initially this is in the form of cation. So we won't have it as isoelectric pH still because at isoelectric point net mobility is not there. This is in the form of cation, it will move towards cathode very easily. Then we are having the first pK1 value, that's pKa1 we call it as. So it is how much? 1.88. Now when it is happening 1.88, when you are keeping the pH of the solution 1.88, what's happening? We are having the dissociation 1.88, we are having this amino acid in the form of COO minus, then you got C, then you have H, then on the other side according to the given diagram, it is NH3 plus, and then you have CH2COOH. So in the range of 1.22, you got this amino acid having two charges on it. but the net charge on the molecule is 0. So this is in the form of Zivitar-ion. After that, we have one more pKa value. So we call that as pK2 according to the given question. pK2, just see the question, children. pK2, it is 3.65. So when you are increasing the pH from 1.88 to 3.65, what's happening now? You have got the molecule in the form of NH3 plus C, then COO minus H, CH2, COO minus. Now children, have a look. And the fourth one is also given to you. What is that? pKa, pK3. What is pK3 given? Have a look on the question. pK3. So you got pK2. What you are getting? This molecule 3.65, 1.88. Then you have got 3.65. You got this molecule. Now pK3. In pK3 you have got what? COO minus C. Then you have NH2 here. NH2. Not plus charge, NH2 here. And then you got CH2 COO minus. Now this is important to see here. If you look on all the species here, children, you can have a look on pK1, pK2, pK3. So you have 3 pK values. Whenever you have an amino acid in which more than 2 pK values are given, you need to take the pK values which are highest, in which the acidic concentration will be highest, in which the substance will act as the higher acidic or basic system. Have a look. pKa1, add pK1 which is 1.88. So we know for any substance to show the reactions in terms of an acid, it is pKa value should be less. See here, in between the range of 1.88 to 3.65, what you have got? You have got maximum concentration of Zivitar-ion. If you look on this concentration on par with 3.65, you will have pK3. So this Zivitar-ion, it's not a Zivitar-ion, net charge is negative, it will move towards anion. Here also net charge is negative, it will move towards anion. That's quite understood here, because pK3 value is how much given to you? pK3 value is 9.80. So naturally NH3 will show the reaction. It will break off and it will give you NH2. So there is 2 negative charges. So Zivitar-ion concentration, isoelectric pH is the pH, isoelectric point is the pH at which the Zivitar-ion concentration will be maximum. So it is in between these two, and these 2 pK values are giving you the maximum ionization values, right? Because lesser the value of pK, stronger the acid. Correct or not? Yes. So Pi will be equal to half of pK1 plus pK2. Only these Ka values will be taken into account. So lowest pK values will be taken into account. However, if it is with respect to pKb for basic medium, you need to take the highest values of pKb. Am I clear? Good. So looking on this 1.88, 3.65, we'll get half of 1.88 plus 3.65. Correct or not? Sum it up and you will find the answer. Yes. So have a look. 5 plus 8. 5 plus 8 will be 13. 8 plus 6, 14 plus 1, 15. 3 plus 1, 4 plus 1, 5. So 5.53 divided by 2. So 2 2s are 4, 5. 2 7s are 14. 2 6 are, so almost 2.76 will be the correct option for this. So have a look on the options. Option 4 is the correct option, that is 2.77. So what I did in this question, children, I picked up the lowest pK values, right? Lowest pK value means highest acidic strength of that particular substance. Clear? Good. Next question. Question number 110. A segment of DNA which codes or specifies for one polypeptide chain. So DNA segment which is asking for one polypeptide chain means it should be able to produce messenger RNA. And to produce messenger RNA, important thing is that you should have an initiator, you should have a propagator, and we need to have a terminator. Correct or not? That can only be produced by the functional part of the DNA called as gene. So genes are the functional parts of the DNA which are able to produce the functional product, and the functional product is what? Protein. Question next, children. Question 114. What's it asking us? Glucose fails to react with, which of the following glucose fails to react with? Yes, it is NaHSO3, because it does not give you the addition product. Addition product it's not giving, that means glucose for the most period of time is found in its which form? cyclic form. Am I clear? It will give Toline's test, it will give Falling's solution test, right? Because glucose is a reducing sugar. Correct. Next question. Question 115. Alpha D glucose and beta D glucose are very simple. Alpha D and beta D glucose, if you want to see, what are those two, children? Tell me. Alpha D glucose and beta D glucose differ from each other at what position? 115. So what is alpha D glucose? Very simple. Alpha D glucose OH and CH2OH, they are in opposite position. This is alpha glucose. Rest I am not mentioning because that's not important. So this is our carbon number 1. This is our carbon number 6. Very good. Beta D glucose will be same, but there is only one thing that's happening. One additional group, that is OH and CH2OH at 5th position are in same direction, right? So they are what? Cis. Here they are trans. So this is alpha glucose and this is beta glucose. They differ in the relative position of OH along carbon number 1. So what we call those as anomers. The phenomena is called as anomerization, and we know how does it happen. Ring opening occurs and cyclic structure alters. Then this is anomers. Epimers differ from each other in any other carbon except carbon number 1, and this carbon number 1 in anomeric carbon is a reactive carbon which will show the reducing property because the functional carbon is this carbon 1 in glucose. Correct or not? If both of these carbons are blocked, then that substance cannot show mutar rotation, it cannot show reducing properties, like what happens in fructose. Sorry, not in fructose, sucrose, which is a combination of glucose, carbon 1 and carbon 2, which is a ketonic carbon of fructose. Correct. So correct option, children, will be anomers. Next question. Question number 136. Question is, isoelectric point is, what is isoelectric point? Very simple, I'll just define it directly. Isoelectric point is the pH at which maximum concentration of an amino acid is in which form? Zwitterionic form. So correct option for 136 will be option 3. It is hydrogen ion concentration. Hydrogen ion concentration that does not allow migration of amino acid under electric field. Yes. So if it is not allowing, so suppose we have plus and we have minus electrodes, amino acid is neither able to move towards cathode nor towards anode, indicating there are equal amounts of charges on such an ion which has got polarity but net polarity is 0 is called as Zwitterion. So Pi, what is that? Pi, isoelectric point, is technically what? pH at net mobility of ion does not occur. Net mobility of amino acid does not occur. So correct option will be option 3, children, for this. Question 140. Yes, question is, epimers, glucose and mannose, because they differ in the relative position of carbon number 2. So in glucose, if you look on glucose, what's the structure here? Glucose is C double bond OH. Then you got OH and H, and then you know the cycle chains. It is glucose. When you look on mannose, it is also aldehydic only, C double bond OH, but here OH is on the left side. So they differ in the relative position of OH. This is glucose and this one is mannose. So they differ in the relative position of carbon 2. So they are what? Anomers or epimers? They are epimers, which differ in the relative position of OH along carbon number 2. So correct option, option 2 only. Next question, children. Question number 143. The bases that are common in both RNA and DNA. Simple thing. In DNA, what are the bases? We have adenine. Do we have or not? We have guanine, we have thymine, we have cytosine, but there is no uracil. But in RNA, we have adenine, guanine, thymine, cytosine. Instead of cytosine, what is here? Uracil, but there is no cytosine. Have a look. The bases that are common in both RNA and DNA. Now have a look. Adenine, adenine. Yes or no? Then guanine, guanine. Yes or no? Cytosine, cytosine. Yes or no? Sorry. Instead of thymine, there is cytosine, but there is no thymine. because instead of thymine there is what? Uracil. Now adenine, adenine, guanine are common. Oh yes, so adenine is there, guanine is there, as well as cytosine. RNA has uracil, not thymine. So cytosine is also there, guanine is also there, adenine is also there. So in DNA you have thymine, but in RNA you have uracil. So correct option will be adenine, guanine, cytosine. Option 1. Next question, 145. It's asking you which of the following statements about ribose is incorrect. Now tell me children, what is ribose? It is pentose or not? Yes, it's an aldopentose. Correct or not? So it has got how many carbons? 5. So generally formula of ribose will be C5 H10 O5. Structure wise, how the ribose is? So here we have got CH2 OH group, then here you have OH group, here you got OH group, here you got OH group. So this is ribose. Formula C5H10O5. Question is, which of the following statement about ribose is incorrect? It's a polyhydroxy compound. Indeed correct. There are multiple OH groups present in this. So this is indeed polyhydroxy compound. Next, it's an aldehyde sugar. Correct or not? Yes, it is an aldehyde sugar. That's why ribose is aldopentose. Aldopentose. Correct. Next one, it has 6 carbon atoms. Wrong. It has only 5 carbon atoms. 1. So you can see 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. It has only 5 carbons. Correct or not? So this is option 3 is wrong. It exhibits optical activity. Absolutely right. So it is able to rotate the plane of polarized light towards left or right. Actually it is D-ribose or L-ribose. D-ribose or L-ribose. Small d, small l, not capital D, capital L. So correct option is option 3. That's wrong option for this. Next one children. 149. Identify the correct statement regarding enzymes. Which of the following statement regarding enzymes is correct? Number 1, enzymes are specific biological catalysts that cannot be poisoned. Wrong. We can poison biological catalysts. Like in electron transport chain also, you know, hemoglobin is poisoned by what? Carbon monoxide. Actually oxygen should combine with it, but carbon monoxide high concentration, if it is present in the body, it gets attached to hemoglobin and poisons it. What does it mean? It is able to deform hemoglobin structure and does not allow hemoglobin to bind with oxygen, which is essential. So hemoglobin's affinity with carbon monoxide is more. Thus carbon monoxide binds with hemoglobin and doesn't allow oxygen to bind with it, acting as a poison, because this destroys the activity of hemoglobin itself. Indeed, we can poison, and the poisoning enzyme means adding some molecules which will mimic the activity of that substrate on the enzyme, but will not perform the activity that is needed. Right? Yes, so that's wrong, because they are saying it cannot be poisoned, but we can poison it. Yes. Next, enzymes are normally heterogeneous catalysts that are very specific in their action. No doubt enzymes are very specific in their action, but they are not heterogeneous, because all the enzymes that are found in the body, substrates in aqueous state, enzyme is also in aqueous state. This is not a homogeneous catalyst, this is heterogeneous catalyst. Sorry, this is homogeneous catalysis. When the medium, when the substrate and enzyme are in same physical states. That's also wrong. Option 3. Enzymes are specific biological catalysts that can normally function at very high temperature. We all know optimum temperature, optimum pH is required for enzymes to work. So definitely wrong option. Enzymes are specific biological catalysts that possess well-defined active sites. Absolutely correct. So 4th option is correct option for this. Question number 151. Starch is composed of 2 polysaccharides. What is that? Amylose and amylopectin. And we all know children, amylose is water soluble and amylopectin is insoluble in water. So this is more branched. Amylose and branch on the whole makes the starch molecule amylopectin. So correct option is option 3. Amylose and amylopectin. Next question children. Question 154. What's it asking? Mark the wrong statement about denaturation of proteins. First of all, every one of us should understand it. Denaturation of proteins means altering the three-dimensional structure. And when you relate this with one more term called as digestion, it is different. See, in digestion of proteins, when there is digestion of proteins, whatever the peptide bonds are existing, they will break. There are peptide bonds which are broken. So amino acids get separated. This is digestion. However, if protein has a particular three-dimensional structure and you alter the pH, you suppose increase the pH, you or increase the temperature or other conditions, you add the salt to it, this structure which was folded a while earlier opens out. Right? So there has occurred alteration in three-dimensional structure. This is called as denaturation. So denaturation and digestion of proteins are different. Now, what's it asking? Mark the wrong statement about denaturation of protein. The primary structure of the protein does not change. Absolutely correct. This is tertiary structure. When you alter the conditions, this chain opens up and basic peptide bonds present in a protein chain is called as primary structure of protein. So this is common primary structure of protein without any hydrogen bonds available. The only linkage present is peptide linkage. This is correct one only. Option B. It's not globular, it is globular. Globular. Proteins are converted into which proteins? Fibrous proteins. Yes. During denaturation, that happens. Globular proteins are well shaped. Once they open up, they will convert to the open chain compounds. Third one, fibrous proteins are converted to globular proteins. No, the biological activity of protein is destroyed. That's absolutely correct. So the correct option for this will be globular proteins are converted into fibrous proteins. But fibrous proteins cannot be converted to globular protein because denaturation that means opening out of the chain itself. Clear? So option 2 will be the correct option. Next one. Question number 157. Proteins are hydrolyzed by enzymes into, very simple, amino acids. Correct option will be option 3. Let's look on the next question. These are direct questions, children. Most of the questions are quite straightforward in this discussion. Let's have a look on question number 171. 166. Which one of the following does not exhibit the phenomena of mutarotation? Simple. Which is not exhibiting the mutarotation? Mutarotation comes into play when the compounds are able to open out at their functional carbons. In sucrose, we have got glucose and you have got fructose. Functional carbon is carbon 2 here and here functional carbon is C1. Both of these are linked with each other by glycosidic linkage. So neither carbon 1 anomeric carbon of glucose, which is carbon 1, is free, nor the functional carbon of fructose, which is C2, because this is ketone, is free. Both are linked to each other. They cannot open up and alter their structures. As a result of that, spontaneous change in their optical activity will not occur. Thus, it will not show mutarotation. Option 2 is lactose. It will definitely show, because in lactose the linkage is from 1,4. One of the anomeric carbon will be free. It will be able to show the reaction. Similar way for maltose, alpha D glucose, that also will show mutarotation. Correct, because one of the carbons are anomeric carbon is free. That anomeric carbon can easily undergo reaction. Say, look on the maltose. So when you look on maltose, this is the glycosidic linkage developed, right? No doubt, this carbon 1 of 1 alpha D glucose is blocked, but carbon 1 of other glucose is free. It can open up and alter the structures from alpha to beta. As a result of that, change in optical activity will occur or not? Yes. So mutarotation is possible there. Option 4, what is the given option, children? Fructose. And naturally we know fructose is a monosaccharide. It can open up quite easily. So correct option will be option 1. Next question. Question 171. What's asked us? Identify the wrongly matched one. Glucose, bromine water gives gluconic acid. Absolutely right. We have already known it. So a weak oxidizing agent, if it's added to glucose, it converts to gluconic acid. In gluconic acid, what's the separation? One CHO group. If you have there, it will be converted to what? There is CHO group, there are COOH groups, right? So we will have carboxylic acid production there. Glucose, diluted nitric acid, saccharic acid. Yes. 2 CH aldehyde group is there and one primary OH group is there, CH2OH group is there, they'll be converted to COH, correct only. Third, glucose, excess acetic anhydride, pentacetate, correct. That proves what? There are 5 OH groups in glucose. We have done the experiments in our discussions. Glucose, prolonged heating with HI gives cyclohexane. That is wrong. Glucose on heating with HI gives you N-hexane, not cyclohexane. So option 4 will be the correct option for this 171. Next question. Question number 174. What does it ask us? Match the drug categories with their examples. Let us see. Sucrose has been shown to you in the present case. So 174th question. Okay. Sucrose. Let us see what sucrose is. In sucrose, we have the options given to us. P is 1,2-glycostic linkage. Absolutely right. Glucose plus fructose gives you sucrose. And what's a link? C1, C2 link. That's it. 1,2-glycostic linkage. It's mentioned outright. So A matches with P. Definitely A matches with P. So A matches with P. See the options. There are only 2 options. That option 1 and option 2, where A is matched with P. So option 3 and option 4 are eliminated. Those are not correct options. Next, let us see further A. In A, 1,4-glycostic linkage, obviously not possible. Is sucrose a polysaccharide? No, it's a disaccharide. So A matches with S also. So first option is A matching with P and S. So second option is A matching with P but R. That's not correct. So first option on the whole will be the correct option. Let us see B also now. B is there, cellulose. Cellulose, first of all, it's a polysaccharide. So B matches with R. In second option also B matches with R. What else? B matches with Q also, 1. Why? Because in cellulose the links are what? Alpha 1,4 links. Only one linear chain where the link is alpha 1,4 link or 1,4 link is there. So B matches with Q and R. Let us see C. C is maltose. First of all, maltose is a disaccharide. So C will match with S. C matches with S as well as Q, because in maltose again there is what linkage? 1,4-glycostic linkage. A while ago I showed. This is carbon number 4. This is carbon number 1. So 1,4-glycostic linkage is also exhibited there. So C matches with QS. What about D? D matches with obviously QR. What is D? Starch. Q is what? 1,4-glycostic linkage, right? But it will be present in amylose part. Which linkage? Alpha 1,4 link. And where the branch comes out, it is alpha 1,6 link. Branch comes out at 1,6. So amylopectin comes out at 1,6. And amylose chain is 1,4 link. That's absolutely correct. So D matches with QR. So for 174th question, correct matching is option 1 only. So next question, children. So we can have a look on question number 175. The acidic amino acid is which one? Aspartic acid, lysine, serine, tyrosine. If you look on lysine and serine, they are both neutral amino acids because their lysine side chain is what? H. Serine side chain is what? CH2SH. So one NH2 group, one COH group. Aspartic acid has got 2 COH groups. So what's the structure? C alpha. Then you got COOH. Then you got NH2. I'm not talking about the deuterion here. I'm talking about the normal amino acid. Then you got H. These are 3 fundamental parts of every amino acid. Then for aspartic acid side chain is CH2 COOH. We have done this question a while earlier only, wherein this will be the basic structure. Sorry, this will be the structure, main structure of aspartic acid. So you have 2 COOH groups and 1 NH2 group respectively. Thus, because acidic groups are more than a basic group, thus it's called as acidic amino acid. So correct option will be option 1. Next, question number 176. There only, you can read the question faster. Enzymes in the living systems. Enzymes in the living systems. What's the important function of enzymes in the living system? Very simple. They don't provide energy, although they can be used, but they don't provide. That's not the main work they have. They can provide an immunity as well because they act as immunoglobulins as well. They can transport oxygen in the form of hemoglobin. So all the two activities like provide immunity and transport oxygen is actually biological reaction. They catalyze biological reactions. So option 4 will be the correct option. Have a look on question number 178 now. 178 is asking us the secondary structure of the protein refers to. Secondary structure of protein is what? Alpha helical backbone, because secondary structure is made up of only two forces. Number one, peptide bonds, and number two, hydrogen bonds. So alpha helical backbone will be the correct option. Amino acids are building blocks of proteins. That's a basic question. Clear or not? That finishes the discussion of biomolecules. Clear, children?